Blessed is everyone who fears the Lord, who walks in his ways. You shall eat the fruit of the labor of your hands. You shall be blessed, and it shall be well with you. Your wife will be like a fruitful vine within your house. Your children will be like olive shoots around your table. Behold, thus shall the man be blessed who fears the Lord. The Lord bless you from Zion. May you see the prosperity of Jerusalem all the days of your life. May you see your children's children. Peace be upon Israel. Hi, everyone. Welcome to Kingdom Outpost 611. Episode 2 of this.
500.
But like 33 of
33?
the other or something. Like since we who knows?
Who are we?
Who knows what's going on? We just want to welcome you guys
wherever we are
to our house. Talk to you about what we've had going on. I mean, I'm really proud of us. It's like a week since we recorded last.
Right?
We're serious about this, and hopefully you'll be serious too.
We mean it this time.
Hopefully you're all subscribers by now to this YouTube channel, or listening to us on podcasts still.
We started off with a good amount of subscribers, so thank you.
And it hasn't gone down. Like it's like 4,500 or 45.
45. No, there may be like 50 by this point. So.
Am I supposed to do this on screen?
I don't know. I've got mine. I shop local. I've
had a day. Yeah. It's been a long week.
Yeah.
It's funny. Here's what I've learned. When you're gone for a week, the world continues. When you're gone for a month, the world jumps ahead. So, really, I'm happy because it showed me I do a lot. And so
you're kind of needed.
Yeah, when I'm not there to do it. And I've always have. Every time I go to Africa or wherever, I take my stuff with me.
Oh.
Because I'm gonna work, and we don't in Africa we have zero time to do that.
We do this every year. I do think we did better. We remembered because there wasn't as much space between your trips as normal. Every time though, he packs all this stuff that he's gonna do when he's in Africa. I pack everything to take to mom and dad's. I'm gonna do recipe cards, and I'm gonna write a book, and I'm gonna do a book
on recipes.
I'm gonna like deep clean my house somehow. Like I'm gonna run into town, deep clean a room, and go back out, while the baby naps. And by the end of the week, or by the end of his trip, all we've done is like watch American Idol. And
yeah, but what have you learned from that? Like, because we want to teach them what we're learning. We don't just describe to them our failures. What have you learned from that? Because I know what I've learned.
Pack my stuff.
That's how I've learned the opposite. Pack it. If you get to it, you get to it. If you don't feel bad. If you don't get to it because you're wasting your time, then go, I should have taken advantage of it. But if you have it with you and you get a chance, and if you can only do this much, well, then you took advantage of every moment. The little productivity of it all. So I'm not frustrated. I still bring it knowing I'm not going to get to all of it, but I'll get to something.
And
that something is more than I would have gotten to if I had left it all out.
Than nothing.
It would have been waiting for me back home.
Right. When you say bring it, you have like devices. Like you're smart and actually have it on. I have my notebooks and my recipe books instead of like.
There are some physical books that I have to bring, but I'm also constrained by airlines want to charge you a ton already, and if you bring books are heavy. Yeah. Books are heavy. And they've really constrained on what you can bring on carry-ons. They like weighing the carry-on,
they just like to be bossy.
Checking the size of the carry-on.
They just want to tell you
now,
what to do.
This last time when we went, they used to just weigh your carry-on. Now they weighed your carry-on and your personal item, which is like a little satchel thing that you can have.
What did you carry?
Backpack.
Oh, right. Okay. So that's your personal bag. They weigh that?
They weigh that. And
Did
now,
they weigh you?
Now, and when we went, no, they do that on little planes, but on commercial planes they don't. On this time when I went, was fine. Next time, the TSA, right after we got back, said you can't bring laptop batteries. They can't be in your checked luggage.
In your checked luggage.
Which means you won't be able to check a laptop.
You have to carry it.
It has to be in your carry-on.
Uh-huh.
Because those lithium batteries can react in the
Why don't you just
in the luggage compartment down there. No one's down there to put it out, but if it starts fizzling up there in the cabin, you can do something about it. And I need to look more into it, but I just saw, because that was a thing. There are certain batteries, portable batteries, you couldn't check in, but you could check your laptops. But I think they just changed it.
Have you gotten over your scissors?
No, I actually thought of that today.
Yeah, because
it doesn't make sense. Because my personal defense combat scissors were. I'm all out of focus here. It thinks you're beautiful, and so it's like, boop.
Yeah, sorry.
Boop. Who knows what it's gonna look like?
Now it's just on the
Look
moon.
at me.
It's like just, Mr. Moon.
See our faces. See our faces.
I think it's. Oh, it goes back to me.
I think we're good though here.
Yeah,
I think if I'm good here. When I get back here, anyway, my face looked fuzzy like I was in witness protection.
Hi, I'm calling you from Kingdom Outpost 611.
But so I had these scissors, and they're great.
He's super serious about these because it's the only.
Because there's no way to defend yourself on a plane
unless you have a credit card like Nina.
Yes.
On 24.
And then that's like who's gonna get that reference?
If you got
remember that TV show 20 years ago?
That
one lady on that one TV show.
I bet there's someone.
There probably
Chris
is.
Taylor. I know you.
I know
what
he
I'm
knows
talking
what
about.
I'm talking about. But anyway, I have these scissors, and like TSA rules are they can be 6 centimeters from the pivot point, which is a pretty long blade. So I got these scissors that are travel scissors, and they're 6 centimeters into that blade.
They
and
come in the little sewing kit, right?
No, I bought them separately.
Oh, okay.
I put them in a sewing kit so that it seems legit.
Yeah.
I put them in a sewing kit that says TSA approved. So I buy a TSA approved kit, and I put the scissors that don't go from that kit.
But they are.
But they are. But
Yeah.
this is just because there's doofuses that run that place.
Right. So what happened?
Doofuses in America and in Africa. In Africa, they took them.
Tell them what happened to your little scissors.
So the guy says, he pulls out, he says, you have scissors.
Yeah, and this is on your way home.
This is in Tanzania on my way home. You have scissors. And I was like, yes. He said, are you a tailor? And I was like, if I say yes, can I get on the plane? You know, I'm like, oh yeah. Okay, you can go. You can keep your scissors because you are a tailor.
Do you pinky promise?
So that you will use them for tailoring on the plane. And I was like, no. I was like, but these are the right size. And he said, no, scissors must be 1 centimeter, which is tiny. And I was like, I was like, that's not true. That's not true.
Did you say
and
that?
so then he came back and he was like,
did you say that's not true?
Yeah, I was like, no, that's too small.
Yeah.
And he brought his friend, came out, he said, they are supposed to be 6 centimeters. And I was like, are you sure? Can you show me? And he was like, it is the law, 6 centimeters. And I was like, these are 6 centimeters because that's what they're made for. And he said, no. And I said, measure them. They're 6 centimeters. He said, these are not 6 centimeters.
He didn't measure that.
And I didn't care at that point. I wanted to go because what he didn't know is I bought those scissors for everybody. And they only checked mine and Gideon's bag and they let the other 2 go. So I'm like, no big deal. We still got... They each have
2 weapons.
Yeah, so they can be broken. They can be broken and you each have a blade.
No,
anyway.
If TSA is watching, they're going to...
It's according to TSA regulations.
They're going to cut
still
it
need,
out,
but still. So I'm very confident. I go up. The people traveling with us, Jerry and Kyle, were like, what was that? I was like, oh, they wanted my scissors. It was not a big deal. Well, Jerry and Kyle have theirs. And they both went, I said, what? And Kyle was like, or Jerry said, I put mine in my checked luggage because I went, well, Chris has his. And Kyle said, I have a pen. I was like, what?
What does that
and I was
mean?
like, he's like, this pen, it could go through like someone's jugular. Like it's a stout pen. And I was like,
but where are your
but
scissors?
where's the scissors? Which will also, like, just let me know. Just let me know. I was like, we got to have better communication. If you're going to decide not to bring yours, let me know.
You tried so hard. You were so excited about your scissors.
I did.
I'm really sorry.
We were undefended.
But you made it. Even with your Jesus One shirt, you made it home.
Yeah. Yeah. So that's what I learned. Anyway, all that to go back to when you're on trips and you're wanting to do something, it brings stuff without being burdensome. Don't be burdened by the items or burdened by expectations that you probably can't meet.
Always, right? That
Either one of those burdens is just let that go. Just do what you can.
You're the one
take
making
advantage
the
of what
rules,
you can, and from there,
I always do that. I'm like, why am I stressed about a rule that I made up? Like, that I wanted to get this thing done, and now I'm acting like if I don't get it done, something bad's going to happen. You set the rule. Like, just don't do it.
Yeah, don't set the rule for yourself.
Did we do the living room?
No, we didn't. I was just saying, hey, and then I was like, I didn't say anything about it. I was just saying, speaking of learning, you know what I learned? You want to take him to the living room?
Let's do it.
All right, ladies and gentlemen, we would like to invite you to our living room. That was as loud as it gets. You want me to do it again?
Was it?
Oh, no, my ringer was up loud.
Oh,
Here we go. Ladies and gentlemen, we'd like to invite you to our living room.
Oh,
much better.
I've got mine.
So good.
So good.
So good.
Good coffee.
All right, so we're in the living room. What do you want to talk about? Like this week, sitting and chatting.
Yeah.
What has happened this week for you, and what
This
did you learn
week,
as you went out and about?
We had a big outing for
A
our
girls' outing.
A girls' trip. And instead of going and staying somewhere, we just stayed at my mom and dad's, and we did a 2-day shopping extravaganza. We have a about to be 14 and 16-year-old. So we just did all the girls stuff. One of them got her first facial, got a haircut. We went to the makeup counters. We got new clothes, like
Oh, this sounds like a blast.
perfume, all the things. It was expensive.
Yeah, she did call me and say, so there's going to be a purchase.
No, I texted him and I was like, I'm about to spend a lot of money on makeup. Is that okay? And what did you say? No habla inglés or something?
Yeah, I said no habla inglés.
Yeah.
It didn't work.
No.
The purchase went
So
through.
it was super fun. It was fun to treat our girls and just getting them all set up. Every step of the way, it just keeps changing and they keep growing and they have different needs, and everything you bought last year is too short now, and so
those are things that you've learned to be aware of, and
yeah, you have to really stay on top of it. And when you have a lot of kids, it's really easy to kind of like forget. Like they'll say, Mom, I need a belt or something, or I need a new undershirt, and even nail polish remover. So there are all these things always that people are throwing out at you, and you really have to like take time to really hear it, because they really need it and they cannot acquire it on their own. They can't just like make nail polish remover appear, So trying to juggle all that, and for me, like just trying to make sure they feel confident and meeting those kind of needs too. So the verse that kept coming to my mind is one that we always laugh about.
Yeah, so I want to, before we get to that verse, I want to throw out, and I want to make this caveat because we're going to read this in this verse. She mentioned for kids being aware of that. I would say this is especially true for girls. Like there needs to be a special focus on this, because boys and girls are different, and we may be all patriarchy and I hate the patriarchy or whatever, but here's the patriarchy saying, take care of your girls in a way different than you take care of your boys, because they're a different animal. And the reason I'm going to say that is from Proverbs 27. It says this: know well the condition of your flocks and give attention to your herds, for riches do not last forever. And does a crown endure to all generations? When the grass is gone and the new growth appears, and the vegetation of the mountains is gathered, the lambs will provide your clothing, and the goats the price of a field. There will be enough goat's milk for your food, for the food of your household, and maintenance for your girls. So whenever we read the book of Proverbs, they love that part. Maintenance for your girls.
That made me teary-eyed. That's such a beautiful
Well,
message.
and it is, I mean, because it's showing, being aware of, it's a generational sort of understanding of what wealth is going to be. You know your herds, because the kids of those herds are going to be it's like knowing farm. It's like we talked about with Joel Salatin and regenerative farming and stuff like that. You need to know what you've got and how that's going to produce down the road and provide for what your girls need.
Yeah.
Maintenance for your girls.
Yeah. It's so easy.
I think it's the Hebrew word for like living for your girls, like the things they need to live, stuff like that. So anyway, it's take care. It's not wrong to take care. So if you're pinching pennies, pinch pennies in the right spot. And when it comes to maintenance for your girls, beauty is a thing. The world hates beauty. Satan hates beauty. I've talked about this so much that I assume I've talked about it on here. But one of the things that it can be good is make sure your girls are beautiful, feel beautiful. The things that make them these bright flowers in the world.
Yeah, I love that. It's so easy to fall into a ditch about just equating holiness with like, what would it be? Just
dourness?
Yeah.
Like a dour holiness?
Not thriftiness, but cheapness, or just like giving up things of this world. And in so doing, like, your kids grow up just like they should be the first thing we're thinking about.
Yeah.
And pouring our resources into. And a lot of times I think in a quest for like truly a genuine quest for holiness, I think we can take from that which deserves the most of our lavishness.
Oh, yes.
So I've really, it's been great to come around to a good place in that, and to know, like, here's what we have. This much needs to go toward just making sure they have clothes that are beautiful.
That fit
well. I'm really serious about swimwear, like finding swimsuits that they feel really comfortable in and that are cute but modest. Like, you don't have to pursue modesty and just totally lose beauty.
Yeah, it's like,
and
I want to be modest, and so I'm gonna
and find fabric and beautiful prints. Like, sometimes, like, looking for modesty and even looking for thriftiness, we end up just like clothing ourselves in cheap fabrics that don't sit well, that don't wear well. So these are things we're thinking about, and really even maybe rethinking things that you've picked up along the way.
Yeah.
Because I know there have been times when I thought, well, you shouldn't shop at this sort of store because that's too lavish. You should shop here. But sometimes these things aren't very, I don't know, you can buy something that's a little nicer fabric. It costs more, and it will end up lasting you longer and being more thrifty than going somewhere and buying cheaper fabrics that have a smaller sticker price but that don't hold up.
Yeah, those are not horrible investments.
Right.
That's not wasting money.
Yeah.
Yeah. I just let them do that. Like, I don't. That's why I was just letting her talk. It's like, I don't know anything about this stuff other than to go, that's pretty. I like that.
This is just a tip. One thing we're finding is to go to the nicer stores, try things on, keep it in your shopping cart. Like, we'll go to Anthropologie and try on everything, put the things we like in the cart in the size that we want, and just wait for them to go on sale, or wait and see if they pop up on Poshmark used, and you can get them for so much cheaper. So there are lots of ways to be thrifty.
Yeah, you don't have to go to the store and buy a non-sale item thing.
Yeah. And like, we went to Goodwill last week and I got an April Cornell dress for Rebecca for like $6.
Ooh.
That really, if you get to know fabrics You can walk down a Goodwill aisle and like you can just kind of feel things and know when you get to one that's a better fabric.
Mm-hmm.
Then you can look up the brand. You can see, oh, this is from, and it, you know, this is a higher end item. I'm gonna buy that.
I know it's gonna. I know
It'll
it's
hold
probably
up.
gonna
Yeah,
last.
because
Hold
it's
up.
made of this, and so anyway.
Maintain your girls,
Yeah.
especially. That's not a bad thing. So that's one of the things we've learned is it's okay to lavish. Again, we're not saying one of my favorite moments, the fashion show.
Oh yeah.
One of my favorite moments was there was this girl, she was in a real pretty dress. Little girl, it was at the church, and they were visiting. A group had come to visit from the Baptist Homes for Children or whatever.
Mm-hmm.
And I was just talking with the kids afterwards. I was just trying to give this girl a little boost of confidence. Like, the dress is real beautiful. You're real pretty in your dress. And the matron came by. The matron. And she was like, we don't affirm their outward beauty. And I was like, one, that's crazy. And two, do you know where this was? It was at a fashion show. They had thrown a fashion show for what the kids had gotten for their next school year.
Mm-hmm.
And I said, hey, that dress is pretty. And they're like, we don't affirm the outward. And I was like, why are we doing a fashion show?
Walking around.
Yes, in a dress. And I went, hey, that's a nice dress. Don't talk about the dress.
At least don't say it's pretty.
So, of course, when we say this, of course, there are going to be people who are going to say, you know, the only adornment they should worry about is the adornment of the heart. You know, something like that. Yes, by all means, don't raise children that don't care about how their hearts are adorned. And don't think that if you clothe their outside, that their insides are okay.
Mm-hmm.
But don't strangle something good in this world, which is the beauty of femininity, the things that God has made women to desire because he's made them very beautiful.
Yeah, and like you're mirroring the love of the Father.
The Lord, we talked about this when we talked. If you want to listen, I've got a whole podcast. FBC Bags is a podcast on what to wear to church. I think is what it was called or something like that. But the Lord is not averse to clothing and clothing well his people. Mm-hmm. Like he says, he clothes the lilies of the valley, and even Solomon in all his splendor doesn't compare. And he's going to clothe you better. Mm-hmm. And he's not talking about spiritual clothes there any more than he's talking about he feeds the ravens, he's going to feed you. He's not just talking about spiritual food. He's talking about legit food, and here he's talking about legit clothes. So it's not wrong to pursue those things and to see how the Lord has provided those for you in certain ways. So don't become all pietistic and be like, clothes don't matter, all that matters is the inside. That Satan wants us to be ugly, you know. But anyway.
And if you're going to do it yourself, not on your kids.
Yes. Don't be like...
Give them a chance.
There's some truth there, parents. You going, oh, I really need to dress, and be like, sweetie, we don't, you know. You're
and
like,
you stop being told you're pretty. Like, see if you like that.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
Everyone likes to hear they're pretty.
That's good. Anything else that you had going on, or are you ready to go to the next stream?
Yeah, let's move on.
So next, I had the kitchen. Is that where we want to go next, or are we going to the study?
Yeah.
Ooh!
We've never made it to the study.
Let's go to the study.
Aww.
I actually like this.
That's really pretty.
Well, let's do it again.
Where's that from?
It's not from anything. That I know of. I tried to get copyright free music because otherwise it'll be like, and your video's down.
Yeah.
I'm like, oh, whoops. Which has happened before.
Mm-hmm.
It's happened before where I didn't know that.
Yeah.
Like a section of it was enough from some random sampling that it was like, you can't play this. So, you know, the thing that really this last week that I've been thinking about is being wise in our own eyes. Mm-hmm. That's been the thing. We're going through Proverbs 3 and we're down to 3:7. Just the danger of feeling, of measure, and what it means to be wise in your own eyes. It's not to think that that it's not to say it's wrong to think that you're wise. I mean, being wise, I mean, this whole goal of Proverbs is, and it promises at the beginning of the book, if you read this book, you will be wise. And this is not a trick here in chapter 3 to go, but if at the end you think you are, then you're really not. You need to read it again. It's not something like that. Being wise in your own eyes, the New Testament's going to say it in, well, the Septuagint does it as well, I think. The New Testament's going to say it, being wise to yourself, which I think helps us understand what being wise, and like the ESV translate that, being wise in your own sight, as opposed to being wise in your own eyes. In the Hebrew, I think it is wise in your, who cares? But the idea is that you're measuring your wisdom by the standard of yourself. So you are wise because you think you're wise, instead of, wisdom is always naturally submissive in that it subjects itself to the standard of wisdom that God has given. He is the standard for what is wise and unwise. And so to actually be wise, you have to be submissive to his standard. And this danger of being wise in your own eyes, again, because a lot of times we'd say, well, I would never do that. I'd never think that I was wiser than God. I would never, choose my own wisdom. But you go back all the way to Genesis 3. It started in the garden. When the serpent whispers to Eve, he tempts her and she looks at the tree, and it does look both good for food and able to make one wise. And it's that desire. Now, she should have known, because he's like, you're going to eat this and you're going to know good from evil and all this stuff. You're going to know it. You don't need God to tell you good or evil. You're going to know it. And she goes, this is going to make me wise. But that, by definition, it would have to be a wisdom different from God's standard, because God had already given her the standard for wisdom. And wisdom was, don't eat the apple. Don't eat from the tree. And so Satan's been using that same ploy. So it's repeated. It's repeated in Proverbs multiple times. It's repeated in the prophets. Isaiah mentions it. It's repeated in the New Testament. So over and over, you get this call. There's a danger to think that you're wise in a way that puts you against God's wisdom. And when that happens, we feel like, we're either above or beyond getting wisdom. So, and that means we won't look or listen to wisdom. It means we think we don't need it, and so we don't heed it. Man, I'm getting all pastor speak here. Everything's going to be alliterated or rhyme. But the idea that I don't need God to tell me what to do. And, we've explained to our kids, this is one of the reasons that they need to heed our wisdom when we're giving it to them, because it's training them to listen submissively to wisdom. Because it's very easy to hear someone else tell you what to do and to think, I don't think that's right. And if they're not submitting to our wisdom above them, then they're training themselves to not listen to God's wisdom when they have their own households. So, just really making sure that we don't think that we're the end-all be-all of what's right and wrong, and we're not measuring the wise decisions or the wisdom of our decisions by our own standards, but rather always by God's standards. And so that for me was a problem. It's been a problem in multiple areas, but I wouldn't say pride, because it wasn't really a pride. It was like, I can do this, I can, it wasn't like, I don't, like, they said it, and so I'm going to believe something other than that. Yeah. It was just, what it was is, it wasn't what we just read in Proverbs 27, the understanding that generational wisdom is meant to be a boon to you. Yeah. So getting wisdom from others that God has given to them is a good thing for you.
Like, drink it in. Take in as much as you can.
Yeah. Because, yes, you can get there, but you might get there by the time you're on your 5th kid. Where if you listen to someone else, you might have it when it's your 1st kid. Or you might get there in the 6th year of your marriage, and you could have gotten there in the 6th month. And so all of those things, again, if you're not recognizing the value of that. And so one thing I've been doing, and I've just started this, it's not something that has been, I'm a very regimented reader. I have so many different areas that I'm trying to study in and learn that if I set a timer 30 minutes and I go on to the next subject, 30 minutes next subject. And I do that because it keeps my pacing good. I don't start, your productivity kind of does this and then it plateaus. And after, here's hour number, end of an hour, you're kind of low on the productivity side. So every 30 minutes it'll rotate and I'll grab another book or go to another subject, and it keeps the subjects always fresh. Well, one of the things I've added to those is reading books on ministry by pastors who've been pastoring and written good. And I'm reading Charles Bridges' The Christian Ministry, and it is so good.
Oh,
it is so
great.
good. So
yeah.
learned a lot, and
Many
even been reinforced in a lot that I believed was true. And it was true for the Puritans too. So I go, hey, this has got to be true. But it's been really good and really useful. And so trying to do that in multiple areas, just get that. And I'm behind because I didn't do it 15 years ago or 20 years ago. I'll get there once. But just not being wise in your own eyes.
Yeah.
So being cautious of that. That's what we've been studying. It's what teaching at the church right now. I think has been helpful.
It's so easy, we came out of a weird era of the church,
Really?
in our teens.
You think the church was in a weird era?
It was a little weird. There were some weird things.
It was very weird.
Very weird.
Really since the Jesus movement, if you haven't looked up the Jesus movement, look up the Jesus movement out of California. It was a huge, helpful thing, but brought some weirdness. Calvary Chapel, stuff like that. Good stuff, but also brought some weirdness with it. And some of that weirdness is stuck on. And because it was so quasi-revival-y, we've stuck it and thought that was the answer, but it really,
yeah.
That's your aside. Do with that what you want.
Yeah. And so it's easy to just think all that, you throw all of it out and you just have to figure things out on your own. And you can still learn from parents who've been there and from, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah, well, I just think we weren't taught about generational sanctification even. We weren't taught that's the way it works. Not it's really funny. We've been so personal Bible study is great. It is great. You should do it. You should read your Bible. That's kind of what I was doing though. I thought I'll read my Bible and that's how I'll be taught. And I didn't learn that the Lord has taught these other people things through reading their Bibles, and so that you can get that information early and apply it. Now you might get there, the 15th time you read through your Bible, it might click, but you can get these things in place and just level up a lot quicker.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's so good. Well, you read so fast, you'll catch up.
I'll be there. No.
I am just hopelessly behind because I just keep scrolling on Instagram.
But you set your timer for 30 minutes.
No, I don't.
No, I do. It's been 30 minutes, Leslie.
I keep thinking I'm postpartum.
2 years.
I'm gonna it's like my time is coming where I'm gonna just kill it at everything. But right now I'm postpartum.
You go from postpartum into menopause just immediately.
No.
Yeah, that's a.
That's a study.
That's a subject. We'll talk about that on the next
sometime.
No, we're talking about it next.
It's on
time.
your list.
Guaranteed. All right, take us to the kitchen, Leslie. That's all I've got there.
Okay.
Ready?
That's really good. Yeah. My notes are so stupid. You want to know what my note says? Welcome to the kitchen, everyone. My note says, while you unload, deal with the chickens. What do you think?
Oh, I know what it is. while I'm unloading the groceries? Or while the groceries are being unloaded, go ahead and take care of the chickens?
What chickens?
Like the chickens that we bought?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. It sounds like I'm go put your chickens up.
No. I did not put the chickens up before we came down here, so I am thinking this.
Are they okay?
I hope so.
Yeah, so I don't think I've talked about this on here. I have shared it on Instagram, but we've done it for 4 months now, 5 months. Where when we do our once a month bulk shopping at Sam's, Chris and I both go, which is really nice because it's a lot of stuff. 2 carts And we can't take our kids because we can't fit the kids and the stuff in the van. So our van is full of food when we leave Sam's. So we buy a lot of chicken, raw chicken, and we also buy a lot of rotisserie chickens. And this is working really well for us.
Sometimes the amount of rotisserie chicken that people look at us when we're buying them.
Yeah, even at Sam's.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. And I am always filled with dread. Are you? With the chickens? Oh. Because I know what's coming.
Yeah, because it's a thing. Like
It is.
Sam's is a thing, unloading is a thing. So to be doing all that and then
deal with the chickens.
Yeah.
But you'll be so glad you did. So we come straight in, and before I even start unloading groceries, because like Sam's, you kind of are like rearranging your whole pantry to get everything to fit in there. I get all the raw chicken out, and I get 2 giant sheet pans with foil.
You get the raw chicken out too?
Yeah, I get the raw chicken out. See, you don't even see it because you're unloading. I do it right away.
Oh, so you're not taking care of the
rotisserie chickens? No.
Oh,
yes,
that's
first.
also going to happen. That's when you do that? Yeah, I'm unloading. I don't see this.
Yeah.
I don't see this.
And I season all the chicken on both sides.
So good.
And I stick it in the oven. And then while we are unloading all the groceries, this chicken is baking. And pretty much when I'm done.
So it's a nice smell while you're unloading.
Yeah, that is nice. When I'm done with the groceries, the chicken's done. Pull it out. Let it cool. And this is like chicken breast. And then we all start shredding the rotisserie chicken. So we get everybody in there pretty much.
Papa rolls his sleeves up because I'm the carcass dispatcher.
Yeah.
Crack, crack, smack.
Yeah, and he has, haven't you like studied how to do it?
Yeah.
And it works really
well. It does, yeah. I mean, you can.
For a while, I did the.
Get those breasts out, get everything you want. And I'm just using my fingers, shredding everything.
Yeah, we did it in the mixer, and it worked for a while. Where you put it in the mixer and let it shred your chicken. Mm-hmm. I haven't been doing that. I think it's just like
it's not very. It doesn't save anything.
And then I have to wash the bowl.
It's so quick what we do that you're not gaining anything by adding that step.
So then, by the end of the night,
because as I'm breaking, like if you were doing it by yourself and you just filled up that whole. Like if you don't have a team, like we've got a team set up. So it's like I'm handing stuff to the kids who are then shredding. By the time I'm on to the next carcass, they're done shredding.
Yeah.
And so then it just, if we did that and put it in
it was unnecessary for us. But it did work really well. But then, so I let the baked chicken cool.
You can snack on the chicken skins while you're doing this.
And all of the chicken. And then once
except the stuff that's not cooked.
Baked, don't snack on that. When the baked chicken is cool, I just slice it and I'm talking
a lot of chicken.
Yes.
The big
20
Sam's
chicken breasts. I don't know. Yeah. And then we just start bagging it up. So we've got 4, however many rotisserie chickens. We bag those in freezer bags separately, and then the baked chicken we do a big amount for salads. Just eyeball it. Like if we were gonna do a Chick-fil-A type salad or a Caesar salad with chicken or a pasta dish with chicken, we just kind of pull that much out, put it in a freezer bag, and then we do some individual portions for Jiu-Jitsu day. If Chris needs a protein.
Oh, it's so good. I just take a baggie of chicken.
Yeah, and it's really tasty. And by the end of the night, all of that said, we have a month's worth of cooked chicken in the freezer ready to pull out, and it has been such a blessing for those nights when you don't know what to make. You've got your rotisserie chicken for soups. We have so many soups. We have broccoli and rice we use it with. We'll use it for chicken fried rice.
We could probably start cooking the bones.
I have frozen them several times to do that. I never have. Yeah. It will, I think, eventually be in the lineup because people make their stock.
Did we get the bones from your mom? The beef bones?
I don't know.
She's supposed to get beef bones with the.
Oh yeah.
The beef.
I don't know. We got the tallow. So.
I've got another round of tallow coming.
Woo!
Those who love my tallow. It's coming. I
Coming
don't
up.
know if anybody here has ordered tallow. It's really good. We
Stay
love it.
tuned. It's great. Honestly, I love it.
It's really
so much.
surprising.
Especially the football. It's my favorite.
It's very nice.
So anyway, that's just a little. That has been super helpful. Little kitchen tip. So,
Kitchen tip, and the chicken. It does. Man, that's
yeah.
so good. I look forward to it.
I do too. Oh, and we used it for tachos this week. That buffalo chicken tachos. It's just all I did was pull out a bag of the frozen baked chicken and threw it in a skillet with like celery and onion and garlic, and then you pour that Frank's.
That
hot.
was so good.
Yeah.
That Tacho's chicken was so good.
So good, and then you scatter it on top of tater
And
tots.
there was enough chicken to where we covered the tachos, but then there was some left over in a bag.
Yeah.
And I just took that to jiu-jitsu.
Oh, you did? Did you just eat it?
I just ate it.
Like,
Yep.
it was good?
Oh, it was good. Yeah.
Would it have been good like on a tortilla? Maybe?
I might have also eaten it on a tortilla.
Yeah. It'd be good lots of ways. It's really good on tater tots. And then pepper jack cheese.
Is it Frank's hot sauce? Is that what you said? Yeah. It's good.
Yeah. That's my kitchen tip.
Yay, kitchen tip. Where are we going to next? Are we taking them to the bedroom?
Kind of embarrassed.
Is it really?
Yeah.
Okay.
I couldn't remember what it was. I was afraid it was like kissy sounds.
Oh, good night, Leslie. No.
Like
There's
kissy sounds.
children here.
G kissy sounds. Like that.
I'll try and add that.
I like the whistle.
Okay.
So let's stick with the whistle.
All right. So bedroom talk. And by bedroom, we just mean marriage. Before you go, pause!
Get the kids
Pause! This is marriage stuff. One of the things that we've really in the last probably year, just really been a focus for me. It's from the Song of Songs, which is Solomon's, is when Solomon is speaking to his wife and says, my sister, my bride. And I read that and I was like, my sister. So, and grasping the idea that the familial relationship between the two of you is in some way sisterly, like a sibling relationship as children of the Lord, sort of that co-laborers in this. And because I think there can be an overemphasis on marriage simply as lovers, so to speak. And like that's the interplay, the two becoming one and all that. But to recognize that you can be both my sister and my bride, and not in a like Mormon sister wives way, but like in a genuine sisterhood in terms of our relationship with one another. Not, you're not getting put in the friend zone, which is a problem. Being put in the brother zone is not. Putting her in the sister zone is not. Friend zone would be problem. But having that relationship as a different sort of intimacy. It's just a different intimacy. They're both intimate
in it,
but it's a different intimacy. Does that make sense?
All the intimacy better.
Yeah, because it's how the thing. I mean, this is in the Song of Songs. It's in the Song of Songs, right? Which is a song about songs, and it was in there, and I was reading it because there were things that it's like I want to keep this sort of relationship and not but then I realized no, that's not actually how it's supposed to be. So creating that not to go back and just repeat myself, but that familial relationship between the camaraderie that happens, the friendship that happens. Again, I know I said not the friend zone, but that sort of sisterly friendship of we're on the same team, we're the same family, we're fighting for that. Man, I just love you.
It's way more fun.
It's so fun. It's just fun.
Yeah.
And then you don't have people getting frustrated. You're not, you don't have hormones getting in the way of everything, and you're not defining everything by that other side, the bride side alone. Like you're not getting rid of the bride side, and she's not just becoming a sister, but it's having the both that creates just a really solid relationship that help each other. Now, if you're just playing the sister role and not the bride, you're going to have trouble. If you're just looking for a bride and not a sister, you're going to have trouble. Yeah. So having both of those creates, like Solomon says, it's a really intimate, on multiple levels, relationship and marriage, and it's been really good. It's a really good epiphany that we've had this year when we already felt like our marriage was good. You know, we would sit and talk about how great our marriage is all the time to each other. Like, can you believe this? Afraid I'm going to wake up, you know, and be married to the matron from that Oklahoma Baptist Children's Home. But this has leveled it up some. I think it's been wonderful, and it was driven by that, just reading it. I do encourage you, we can get into this another time. We can talks about the marriage bed. I encourage married couples. I think you should read Proverbs every day, and you should read Song of Songs every day. I think if you're married, at least, especially, you should read Song of Songs every day, because your marriage is that important. We all would agree it's a picture of the gospel, and it's going to be a battleground, and can be also, but it's not just, we often like to do the negative thing. It's a battleground, but it's also a place of great flourishing and great blessing. And so it's not just you got to do this because Satan's going to come after it, but you got to do this because it's a huge blessing to men. I mean, this was a blessing before the fall. So this was a blessing even in the garden. It added to it.
It's like the quote you read last week.
Yep.
Do you remember that?
I do remember that quote.
I can't remember.
I can't remember what it said.
I've heard that thought.
I'm trying to remember. It's from the garden. Was the title of the Cooper, William Cowper.
Yeah.
Which is funny. Isn't there a gland? Cowper's gland? Isn't that a gland?
I have no idea.
I think Cowper's is a gland, and I think it's spelled the same, but I'm pretty sure you say is Cooper. No one wrote and said it's actually Cowper, both play, but I think it's Cowper's gland.
Do you want me to ask my friend, Chat
GPT?
No. I did talk to him in length today about Mars.
Okay.
Anyway, my sister, my friend. Yeah. See, he just loves me. I was just thinking, like, I think we're super aware of ways the enemy would like to ruin our marriage, like with adultery or some terrible thing happening. I don't think we're as in tune to the travesty of just becoming roommates.
Wow. Yeah. Travesty. No.
Right? And so, like, reading Song of Solomon, I was just thinking about as you're walking through life together, especially with pregnancies and postpartum, like it takes a toll on everything. And if you're not being really careful to, like, remember what marriage actually is, and reading Song of Solomon or listening to it through your encouragement has been, it takes you back home in all the ways. Yeah. Like what you were talking about, and for a woman, probably more on the other end of things, just to remember, like, what this is supposed to be, the gift of it, not to take it for granted. Like, don't just, like, you're not just getting through life and giving each other a high five. Like, we are in this together, and it's a beautiful thing. So that's been really good. Yeah, really love it's really changed my vision of her, and therefore my interactions with her, and I have noticed that just a benefit to it all. Yeah. So yeah. And you see it everywhere, like the old sitcoms, the way men will, like, joke about their wives, and it's less like this friendship and co-labors and more like ball and chain, that sort of thing. And it's just easy. Those are easy things to fall into. And I think what you have landed on through reading Song of Solomon I think it would really protect a lot of people from. Oh, I think so too. If you want to know it's in chapter 4, not in the chapter. It's repeated over. That's what caught my attention in chapter. It's like repeated
My sister, my bride. My sister, my bride. And I was like, there's something going on here.
What does
I don't
that
understand.
mean? Yeah.
You know? And so, or that I feel like I don't have settled in my brain for how I should treat her. Not that the other way was wrong, but not as full as it could be.
And not that you weren't like you said, we super compatible.
Yeah.
But it's just always onward and upward, like further in. I'm just gonna say all the
further up and further in.
Further in. It's just been that. Like God has just taken us up a level.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
That's also the passage where I learned that love at first sight is actually biblical.
Well, I remember the first time I saw you.
I also remember the first time that you told me that you saw me.
It's really not fair because you were coming into a situation.
And I was a ginger.
Yeah.
Like
he okay, here's how it happened. I'm a cheerleader on the sidelines of the Beggs High School football.
Thousands of people in the stands.
Thousands.
And out of those thousands.
And I'm just like cheering, like, go Beggs Demons, which is another story for another day.
Just invoking the spirits.
Why not?
Yeah.
And I just see this like red halo in the distance in a royal blue plaid Tommy Hilfiger shirt.
I remember that shirt.
Yeah, I think we
That
still
was
have
a
it.
great shirt.
I kept that shirt. It's in the attic.
Really?
I'm gonna bury you in it.
I will not fit in it.
I'm
Guarantee
gonna
you that.
have it just open. It'll look really cool.
Yeah.
We'll all laugh at you.
I'm so gonna outlive you.
Anyway, I see him walking, and then I'm just watching him the whole way, and he walks up the ramp
I remember that.
to the bleachers
Uh-huh.
and walks, and he's with, I don't know if you walked to my youth minister or if you were with him.
I wasn't with him. Because I remember
you.
I'm walking to this. I don't know anybody.
I tracked you then, and I track you now.
I'm walking into a stadium onto where I'm supposed to speak.
Mm-hmm.
I didn't know anybody, and I'm like, "Where is this guy at?"
Yeah,
this
so
is before really before cell phones were really big and stuff.
Totally.
So it was like,
where are you? Yeah, so you had that to walk into. Hundreds of people you'd never seen before. You were the one. I'm from a small town. He was the one person.
An outsider.
Who is that? Who's that redheaded?
He coming from the city?
Yeah. So I mean, how could I not fall in love at first sight?
How could you not?
So, anyway.
Yeah.
Oh, so you saw that in the Bible?
Yeah.
What is it?
Love at first sight?
Uh-huh.
Oh.
I don't think you've told me that.
Yeah, it's from. Yeah, okay. You have captivated my heart, my sister, my bride. You have captivated my heart with one glance of your eyes.
Mm-hmm.
Love at first sight.
With
one glance.
Jewel of your necklace.
One glance of your eye. Now, don't go past the quote.
Mm-hmm.
I mean,
I'm just saying I need a new necklace.
Yeah. Oh, great. Maintenance for. It doesn't say wives. It says maintenance for your girls. My girls want a new necklace. Ladies, if you're listening, let me know.
They got earrings and a ring, so.
They did.
Good.
They were showing me all their bubbles.
Yes.
That they
Good
got.
stuff.
All right, I think that's all we're going to be able to cover today. We're at 1 hour. I don't want to go past that.
That's true.
And the thing we want to talk about next
a really good one.
is a really good one.
Yeah, we'll save it.
About not raising transgender kids. You have to find out what that's going to be
for that one.
next. What day is it today?
Friday. I'm always like, let's just
but I think
do the next
we
one.
post on a Thursday.
I'll just go change my shirt.
So we just posted last Thursday. You'll get this. By the time it's posted, we'll have not raised tranny kids. So
surely not.
Sure. All right. Thanks everybody for stopping by. We're gonna go ahead and.
Oh, I was like, don't
do it.
Spotlight.
We've got to do our spotlight now.
Kingdom Outpost spotlight.
Boop.
I have a prop.
Oh yeah.
Shall I?
Yeah.
Today's Kingdom Outpost spotlight is. Oh, look at me! I was gonna do it again.
Don't tap it. She's
Kanoki?
very heavy-handed. She doesn't look like she'd be heavy-handed, but when she touches it, she's like, poof! Wait, let me get up here. And she's like a chicken. Get close and whack! It's like...
It is very precarious, our situation here.
You should have seen us
You're
trying to
propped
get
on a
it.
Shakespeare book, everyone.
Yeah, I was like, I'm not on a Shakespeare.
No, they are.
I think it's going to be funny. We're going to go back and look
I think I go in and out of focus like 1,000 times. Because your head keeps going. I think it's because your head is closer to the camera. So it's assuming. So we'll get this figured out. Who cares? Who wants to see me in focus anyway?
Right?
But Kanoki Coffee House. Tell us about Kanoki.
Kanoki Coffee House is our local coffee shop.
Yep. Run by
the amazing Summer Lamborn, who really gets it. The thought
believer.
Yes.
Solid, lovely lady.
Planting.
And I'm saying that about someone that doesn't even go to our church. What kind of a cult leader
generous.
am I?
You're a terrible cult leader.
Boo.
But it's rare to find people who like are planted, and Summer is planted in this community.
And oddly, it's more rare to find Christian people that are planted. You'll actually find more secular people for secular reasons that are planted in their and want to make an impact in their city, and a lot of it is because that's they're wanting to leave a legacy or something like that, and so it's rare to have Christians that want to do that. Sadly, it's more rare.
Yeah, and a lot of Christians just
they don't understand
they
business. They don't understand
things. Anyway, go ahead.
So we love Summer.
Yeah,
and she's doing that. She's planting here. She's made an impact here, and she's encouraged others to plant as well through her work.
Yeah,
Very intentionally Christian. She's being intentionally Christian in her business practices, even in her scheduling, in the things she thinks are important for her and her employees. All those things are really good.
And it's such a blessing.
And she excels
to the community to have businesses.
She's not doing it halfway.
That are run by godly people, because things are elevated when they're run by godly people.
Things are better.
They're better and more beautiful, and I know it's not easy. Like you think, just because
I think it's pretty easy. I don't so.
You want, even when you like saying it's a rare person to plant something like in a small town. When you do find people that do it, it's a hard work because it is a small town. Like the pool is not very big.
You've got to be generational in your thinking
or you'll
terms
give up.
of like, I'm not expecting a harvest today.
Yeah.
Or in the next 5 years.
Which I ran into like with church. I always thought, well, if there was just someone who would stick around, like a pastor who will stick around, everything will be better.
Yeah.
Well, people are still going to people, even if you are like, I'm not leaving.
Yeah, because you realize part of the work of the ministry is not just increased volume of people in attendance.
Right.
Which is what, again, you go back to that quirky church age. It's probably what you sort of thought, that the success of ministry is going to be solely based on the volume of personages in attendance.
Yeah. So, all that to say.
And when you pastor well, and people are going to like it, and you're going to pastor, if you're pastoring well, you're going to have to tell people the way you're living is not how you should be living. And they're not going to like that. And that's fine.
That's fine.
Yeah.
Yeah. But summer.
Back
to summer.
Here's the pastor's wife's aside. Speaking of summer, now back to me. My life.
No. I just know, like.
It is hard.
It's hard work, and we're so thankful to have a place in our community run by someone who is like in it, and it's making a difference.
Yep.
So
it is great. But one thing we'd like to do, we do these spotlights on Little Kingdom Outposts, and that she got a little outpost there. We want to hear from you guys, and so what I would like is, I love this idea. If you know someone who is excelling at their Kingdom Outpost, I'm not talking about yourself. You're not trying to get a spotlight on yourself, although you might deserve one. If you know someone that's like doing great things for the kingdom and great things in their household, really running a lively Kingdom Outpost, and you want them to get some recognition. Look, this is about as small as recognition as you're going to get right here is on our podcast and our YouTube page. But if you have a brother or sister in the Lord that you think, man, they have really been an encouragement to me, and maybe you live in a small town like Beggs, and they're never going to hear, their name mentioned, but they're doing things for the kingdom and they need that recognition. Let us know. Let us know about some places like that. Let us know about some other Kingdom Outposts that you'd like to let them get a little shout out here. If you want to do that, send an email to kingdomoutpost611@gmail.com. kingdomoutpost611@gmail.com. Let us know what Kingdom Outposts you think are doing a great job, and you just love for them to get some recognition.
Yeah, tell us what they're doing, something that has encouraged you, just a little tidbit.
Yeah, maybe even something that you've learned from them.
Yeah.
You know, hey, they've been doing this, or even if they've just been faithful for however long, just being faithful is great too. So anyway, any reason you want to give them a shout out, let us know, and we'll try and get to some of those and let people get a little bit of recognition. Everybody likes that.
Yeah.
Nothing wrong with that. So
that's fun. I love that idea.
Yes. You're a great sister. All right, you ready to send them off? Let's send you off with a benediction. May the Lord make you increase and abound in love for one another and for all, so that he may establish your hearts blameless in holiness before our God and Father at the coming of our Lord Jesus with all his holy ones. Amen and amen. Thanks, guys. We'll see you next time.
See you next time.
Do you want to do it?
Click.